Okay, so welcome to the part 3, the most dangerous work ever. Okay, so let's continue, boys. Let's continue. Okay, so what is the
You gotta improvise. See, bush pilots carry out aircraft operations in the most rugged and unpredictable areas on Earth. In other words, their whole job is literally flying where nobody else wants to fly. And you know, the worst case scenario for regular pilots is probably their aircraft nosediving towards the ground. But for a bush pilot, it's almost expected. The heck's this guy gonna land? Whoa. Now that's a real professional. But anyways, we're in the top 10 now, which means that the jobs you've seen up until now are a breeze compared to what's coming up. And to kick things off, we gotta talk about these guys, the unsung
आइस बर्फ के अंदर जाने वाले लोग
heroes of the most dangerous climbing routes in the world, Mount Everest. See,
इज जस्ट मतलब कि ये सच है भाई कि माउंट एवरेस्ट के ऊपर चढ़ने वाले हजारों हजारों लाखों लोग होंगे बट यू नो द कैलाश पर्वत उसके ऊपर एक भी कोई भी इंसान आज तक चढ़ नहीं पाया है सम कहा जाता है कि उसके अंदर ना समथिंग लाइक कुछ ऐसी एनर्जी है जो किसी को ऊपर जाने नहीं देती बिग फुट भी कहा जाता है वहाँ पे कि है
Icefall doctors have the important role of creating pathways for others. And by others, I mean the hundreds of climbers who flock to these mountains every year to test themselves. That means they're literally trialing untested routes, where the ground could give away at any moment. Trialing untested routes, where the ground could
ओह
give away at any moment. I wonder which one of these guys has gone up Everest the most. So yeah, Icefall doctors have the insanely difficult task of saving lives without losing theirs in the process, which isn't easy when the people they're rescuing are stuck in places like these. Dude was staring headfirst into frozen oblivion. But not everyone's as lucky, because for some people, being buried alive in snow is all too common. Meet Steve Crosier. He's a full-time avalanche cameraman and a professional mad lad who gets paid $100,000 a year to create and film avalanches from the bottom. And while that may
एक्चुअली भाई वो क्या कर रहा है भाई वो मतलब कि मौत के सामने होके मौत को शूट कर रहा है like, कैसे मरूंगा भाई जस्ट लाइक वाओ तूफान हाँ मैं मर गया मैंने खुद को रिकॉर्ड किया मरते हुए
sound like a lot of money. It's not like standing in the path of rushing snow to get the perfect shot is scary or anything. I mean, too far away and he might miss the shot, too near and he could end up dead. And he's not only fighting the natural events, he's causing them by setting up dynamite on the top of peaks. Or, as he likes to say,
All I'm doing is merely giving nature a little push to show it in its best light.
okay, sure buddy, whatever floats your boat. Now Steve might have a few screws loose, but he's not the only one. Cause I don't know what to call this next job other than pure
द कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट हाँ ये भी बहुत ज़्यादा डेंजर भाई इतने हाइट के ऊपर
insanity. Yeah, these iron workers are responsible for building the bridges, skyscrapers, and towers of big cities. And if you thought painting and washing them was tough, these guys build the damn foundations for those careers. And doing a bad job doesn't just mean getting dropped from the task force. It could also be a whole-ass building dropping to the ground. Sheesh. These guys don't just work with steel. They've got nerves of steel too. But nobody tests their limits quite like product testers. And I don't mean testing out Bluetooth speakers and skin creams. It's a little more hardcore than that. I'm talking bomb-proof suits for starters. That's right. They don't only test those things on dummies.
एक्चुअली भाई असली इंसान के ऊपर कौन टेस्ट
Skin
करता है
creams. It's a little more hardcore than that. I'm talking bomb-proof suits for starters. That's right. They don't only test those things on dummies. And the results are in. Good news. It passed quality control. Otherwise, this would have been a totally different kind of video. But from bomb-proof to stab-proof, these suits are more than just about style. Man, that's a lot of trust. And that's not even
मैं कितना भरोसा अगर एक भी गलती हुई तो डायरेक्ट आर पार अपने दोस्त के साथ कौन कौन ये करना चाहेगा
the craziest thing I've got to show you, because hold on a minute, is he?
नो
That guy lost his mind. I don't care how strong that glass is. There's no way I'm letting someone shoot an AK-47 at me from a few feet away, even if it's bulletproof. And these firemen are as courageous as it gets, because they don't just put out fires, they dive straight into them from the sky. No, seriously. They're the ones in charge of putting out remote wildfires that are
Wow.
burning through forests. So when the clock's ticking, saving time is the mission. Skydiving and firefighting doesn't get more high stakes than that. But look, now we gotta talk about a job so crazy, it almost sounds made up. I'm talking about snake milkers. Seriously, I didn't just make that up. See, the key component needed for anti-venom medications is venom itself. Because if a snake bite goes without treatment, the tissue around the bite begins to die. And that's
सोचो जहर का सांप का जहर काटते काटते खुद ही तुम्हें सांप ने डस लिया तो शायद उनको पास एंटी वेनम होगा.
when your major organs start to fail. So yeah, the only way to safely get your hands on venom is by milking a snake. And as you can already imagine, finding someone crazy enough to do that is quite the challenge. So much in fact, that there's only 4 people in the whole United States qualified to do it. One of them being Jim Harrison, a veteran in the field, and a man who's able to milk up to 150 snakes in 2 hours. Oh, and he doesn't even wear gloves. Guy's a savage. While 150 snakes does sound like a lot, it's not all smooth slithering, because getting your hands on the most deadliest snakes come at a cost. Better your fingers than your life, I guess. Yeah, having cobras and vipers as your co-workers is pretty ridiculous. But it's nothing compared to what these bodyguards have to deal with, because they put their bodies in harm's way in order to protect some of the most hated people on Earth. And surprise, surprise, they're mostly presidents. And nobody has security quite like world leaders. Got a problem with election results? You gotta get through these guards first. And that's no easy task. I mean, check out this response to an attack during the president of Venezuela's speech.
Wow.
That's basically a human shield. And Kim Jong-un certainly doesn't take risks either. I don't think anyone's getting near that car, guys. When you have a job like that, you know what you're signing up for. Just like when you're signing up to be a lumberjack, you're facing up against a lethal foe.
Oh no! Whoop.
Yeah, I'd take an assassin every day of the week over a tree coming my way. You see, the lumberjack process is divided into different parts. So you've got your high riggers who set up structures to work on, your haulers, the strongmen who carry the logs, and the sawers who, you guessed it, saw. It's just a whole frickin' hazard fest. Sharp tools, falling trees, and the risk of falling out of trees. There's no way you can make that safe. But hey, at least they look good while doing it. And no matter how you cut it, where a log lands is always a roll of the dice. And the craziest thing is, sometimes you're literally cutting down the very thing you're hanging on to. Damn, those guys are crazy. But commercial fishermen are plain psycho. Because if you think out-of-control trees are bad, the ocean is much less forgiving. Yeah, when it comes down to man versus the elements, there's only ever one winner. And the stats don't lie. Being a commercial fisherman has a fatality rate 23 times higher than any other job. Man, they might as well write their wills before they get aboard, because half of those fatalities are from capsizing ships, which apparently isn't all that uncommon. Nowhere safe. Not even your own bed. But look, I think it's time we talk about the most dangerous job of them all. A job where a rough day at work could be your last. And I'm not even talking about the military. I'm talking about the elite special forces. Yeah, these soldiers are the best of the best, and they're tasked with the most secretive and dangerous military operations known to man. And they do not play around. I mean, they're able to breach buildings and vehicles in a matter of seconds. And there's no scenario these guys can't handle. Because if there's a problem, the Special Forces will solve it. Now, as crazy as these Special Forces soldiers are, it's nothing compared to the security forces of the world's elite. Because these people need to do whatever it takes to protect their leader, even if that means risking their own well-being in the process. From guarding the most famous celebrities to the craziest presidential motorcades, these brave individuals will stop at nothing to finish the mission. Look, if you want to hear more, you need to click on this video right.
Okay, bro. Thank you for the very informational video. भाई really मजा आ गया. Very great channel. Very information. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe. I go to sleep. I just मुझे आ रही नींद भाई, मुझे आ रही नींद. Thank you for watching so much, guys.